You're listening to CRBRadio.com. The words and opinions you are about to hear are of the hosts and do not reflect the management, sponsors, or affiliates of Cave Radio Broadcasting.
The views and opinions expressed by our show hosts do not necessarily reflect that of Sports Radio Detroit or its sponsors.
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
Hey, very exciting stuff. I think we're pretty much ready to go here with this podcast.
What the hell is a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right on the computer.
And once we start recording, Frank, we need you to stop eating those crackers. It's incredibly annoying, and it's all anyone's going to be able to hear.
Dead air.
Could you ease up on the crackers?
I'm getting bored with this. I'm going to bring my guest in.
You're listening to the SRD Roadshow on SportsRadioDetroit.com.
All right.
That wasn't so bad.
No.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Rayvon?
Man, I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well on this Saturday morning.
Loving the weather.
It's getting a lot better.
Hey, it's a lot warmer than minus 25, I'll tell you that much.
I'll take it.
It is paradise outside at 19 degrees.
That's a word.
No slips and falls yet.
Oh, no. But we got to watch out for Mike Pro because he might have a slip and fall story.
Yeah.
Did you guys know the story about last year, what happened to him?
No.
On the way to the Roadshow last year, Mike Pro was stepping into his work truck and just totally bit it and landed right on his tailbone. We're talking like full. Oh, he's here. He can tell the story.
Like cartoon banana peel.
Yeah, exactly. If you want like
Did
a
you put a
visual.
banana on the tailpipe? Oh, wow.
But like if you want a visual, it was like he did. He slipped on a banana peel, landed on his coccyx, which is his tailbone. We're talking about your fall last year.
Oh man, that was brutal.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
And he even admitted, he goes, I shed a tear for like 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, I cried. Like I actually cried for my mom. Like I was about to call my mom to come pick me up, take me to the hospital. You know what I mean? Did you tell him how it happened? So
yeah, you slipped on ice.
Yeah, I tried to knock the snow off my wheel well between my tire, and then I was standing on ice when I kicked it. So my foot got caught in the wheel well. I slipped and came down, spilt coffee on me, dropped my bagel, and cried like a little girl.
Goodness.
So which part was worse, like the fall or the coffee landing?
Oh, the fall for sure, because I didn't even know what a coccyx was until I fell and hurt. I was like, my butt's broken. my shit's broken.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, that whole slip and fall thing, that's a real thing.
Man, that's tragic. You got to be careful out here. It's a lot of ice. So I noticed you updated the show sheet. You did some good work there. The first thing was the peanut story out in Hartford, Connecticut. The minor league baseball team for the Yard Goats, they decided to place a peanut ban in their ballpark. No peanut products allowed, no Cracker Jack, because of parents citing concerns of allergies for their kids. You guys think this is a trend we'll start to see where there are going to be more peanut bans throughout the sports world?
I don't like this. I understand there's allergies, and I understand we got to protect people. But now do we have to change the song? You know, take me to the ball game, some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Now we can't have that.
It's
we got to take
some carrot sticks.
So it's like I get it. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of allergies. So if we're gonna go this route, how about we not sell anything sweet because they attract bees? I'm allergic to bees. You're selling cotton candy. I might get stung by a random bee trying to go after that cotton candy. If we're gonna go that route, I just think, yes, we do got to make precautions, but I feel like that's just getting too soft. That's like peanuts is a part of baseball, 100%. It's part of baseball.
Jamie joined us from our Mid-Michigan studios this morning. I like that, Jamie.
The brand new
Mid-Michigan. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We're statewide, but yeah, I know in Midland, the minor league baseball, that's imperative out there to sell as many
Yeah.
variety of products available. Correct?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I've heard of other ballparks doing like a peanut-free section, which I think is probably the better route to go.
Genius.
Because you have people who want peanuts and they want Cracker Jack and they want other things, and then you can have a section maybe close to an entrance that is just like the allergy-free zone, no peanuts, no whatever else, because I do have a friend that has a peanut allergy, and she went to a Tigers game, and she was wearing sandals, and she didn't even think about it, and she came home, and she couldn't walk for 3 days because her feet were so swollen and itchy just from the peanut shells being on the ground where she was at. So
interesting.
it is a serious issue that can have big repercussions for people who have the allergy, but I don't think that you need to shut the whole park down to it. Just give it a section.
Yeah, when I was having a hissy fit about this, I was like, they can't do this. I never even thought of just making a section. You know what I mean? There can't be that many people allergic to peanuts at a baseball game, so it's not like you're going to...
On any given day.
Yeah, fill up a whole area. You know what I mean? So...
Well, if you're going to Co-America, you can sit basically anywhere you want. You won't interact with a fan. So it's not gonna matter here in Detroit. But
they got poison. They got poison ivy at what's the ivy at Chicago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm allergic to ivy. Take that shit down. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
Please start this war. Even if you're not allergic to it, please start this war.
Yeah, the center fielder of my team, he's allergic to ivy. I'm not changing my team up. You just need to cut the ivy down. You know what I mean? Like we're just.
I have issues with sunlight. Like I react poorly to sunlight. Can't you just put a dome on every stadium?
Yes, that would be ideal. But
yeah.
I don't know. Like when I see stuff like this, I think baseball is just trying way too hard to be accommodating to everybody.
I was just going to say that.
Like, and that's what we talked about last week, though, right? Like, I know on Mitten Sports Talk, Jeremy talked about that a little bit, but we've talked about on the road show numerous times how baseball appears to be less popular than it was, whether it's pace of play, whether it's the lack of awareness of like national players outside of Bryce Harper and Mike Trout. I think baseball just wants to be loved by everyone so much that they're willing just to go this extra mile and be like, well, that's fine. Yeah, we just won't serve peanuts anymore. But
they're thirsty. Baseball's thirsty.
That's a very thirsty move. Like real.
I mean, but it is, right? But like, I think they're like just so crazy about getting people into the gates and trying to fall in love with the game again that they're willing to do anything. And I think this is an outrageous measure to do so.
It's like we're having a special for people who are ambidextrous, whatever. Yeah, you get 20% off your ticket. How many people are 15?
How do you prove that too, right? Like
you walk up to the gate after you buy the ticket. Like, oh, by the way, I can do this.
Yeah, so it's like you're just doing too much. That's like a reach. You're reaching.
Yeah.
Like you did something to help out a certain small group of people, but it's not that large for it to matter, unless that whole county that minor league team is in is all known to be allergic to peanuts. You know what I mean? Now we don't know. We don't know what that county or that city's about, but it's a long shot.
Here's the thing that's wild. The article from USA Today said that the yard goats are going to lose more than $50,000.
I was just about to bring that up.
Like,
it's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money
over some peanuts.
And you're not going to make that up just because people may rally around this social issue.
Because it's just a part of baseball. You know what I mean?
It's a part of tradition.
It's in the song, the only baseball song that matters. You know what I mean? No, I'm not with this whatsoever.
Well, yeah. Now we need new lyrics, right? Like, buy me some carrot sticks and apple slices.
Every single situation, man. Like, I think there needs to be a level of accountability. If you know there's peanut allergies in your family, you need to, plan accordingly. Or you can't go to the game. And I don't think that they're going to lose a lot of money because of this. I think that, if the patrons take responsibility for what they need to do, like with the young lady with the flip-flops, or if your kids have them, like, you have to take precautions, or you just can't go.
I think they thought of, like, what can we do to help out some people? Thought about this. Oh, well, how about we do this? Not thinking, this might cost you $50 50 stacks.
See, but here's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like you're not going to make 50,000 off of people who are allergic to peanuts. It's not happening. It's not happening.
The thing is that I don't agree that baseball accommodates so much with fans because it took them forever to put screens up after numerous injuries when the ball was going out of play. Free agency right now is a joke. So if they really cared about the fans, they'd be signing players right now. Baseball also does a terrible job of being in a news cycle 24/7. They take forever to be intuitive what the fans are. Now they're streaming Facebook Live games. It's like that was done 3 years ago. Now you're doing it now. There's some aspects of it that, I mean, even they sued the pitching ninja, who was a popular guy on Twitter because of his gifts, and he wasn't making money off of it. He was just showing stuff, and he's a lawyer. He lawyered up himself. It was like, look, I'm not anything wrong. So baseball, I disagree to a certain extent. If they do react, it is a huge overreaction versus just being subtle about it. Like you take away peanuts because 3 people. It's usually the minority. It's always the minority over the majority with these things. It blows my mind every time.
Talking about me?
No, I'm talking about.
Hello. I understand why they're doing it.
Even Jamie
Don't
might.
you think part of it?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Don't you think part of it is the result of everything they're doing? Like, how can we make baseball more popular? What can we do to make people like baseball more? And everybody gives them suggestions. Like go straight DL, get rid of the DL, do this, do that, and they're like, no, we're going to add a pitching clock. Oh, and we're going to put a runner on second. Oh, and it's like they ask for feedback, and when you get feedback, they're like, no, we think what we've thought about all along is going to work better, regardless of the feedback they're getting about their planned rule changes and their peanut-free stadiums.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not subtle. They don't go at it subtly. They're just like, nope, we're just gonna throw it out the window. And you should definitely. I mean, with the peanuts, it's just like. I was gonna say you gotta.
Are there any other sports teams that's considered this, like basketball?
I don't think
they're probably think like maybe that's a good idea. That's an innovative idea by them.
That's what's weird. I'm myself,
but they'll probably look at they're gonna lose $50,000 from this. Maybe not.
Got him! Got him! Oh, that's a great drop. Great drop.
I mean, realistically, are you going to stop going to a baseball game if they stop selling peanuts? You're still going to go.
I might not go because they're not selling peanuts.
I mean, they don't allow peanuts in elementary schools, and I know it's different, but the point of it is for kids to feel inclusive too. I mean, those are the majority of people.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go to school, so you have to protect the kids. You don't have to go to a baseball game. Sure. You don't have you chose to win those tickets, buy those tickets, or go to the game. You know what I mean? So you just gotta deal with certain things. How about we just have a domed stadium because I'm allergic to the sun? You know what I mean? Like I have pigmentation issues. You know what I mean?
Or
let's get put a dome.
I mean, we're going to come any vampires now.
So it's like
just wear long sleeves.
That is a bad joke.
It's just extra. For
I
no
think
reason.
the peanut-free section is probably the best compromise.
And
that is the best.
That was why didn't they think of that? All right, we're going to just cut off all nuts. Just instead of just having a small section.
Maybe don't phrase it like that. I'm just saying.
It comes up mid-inning on the big scoreboard. Like,
yeah. Nut-free section.
This is a nut-free section.
Yeah, don't nut. Please do not nut over here.
That's nuts.
We're going to cut them all off. Don't come over here with any nuts. We'll cut them off.
We cut off the nuts over here.
You know they call the neuter section.
The nutcrackers.
No nut area.
Yeah.
Have a whole new meeting on dog bark in the park night.
So how are you guys this Valentine's Day? How'd you spend your Valentine's, Lance? Any special plans?
I worked twice. I went in the morning, decided there was going to be no Valentine's Day, and then I went back to work.
No chocolate, no.
I didn't say that.
Can I give you an interesting story that happened to me on Valentine's Day? That kind of I didn't do anything. Ladies at work, but so I'm minding my business. I'm working, and then naturally when somebody sneezes, what do you say?
Bless you.
Bless you.
So this lady sneezes. So naturally I said, "Bless you." Do you know what she said to me?
What?
The only person who can bless me is God.
Oh God, I hate that.
Oh
my God,
I've never gotten that.
I've gotten that twice.
I had
I don't
something
believe in
similar.
God. Why would you tell me to bless me?
You know what I mean? The only person who can bless me is God. Like, we're not with that shitty personality you got.
You know what? I hope your heart stops again. There you go.
I've had a really hard time not turning around and being like, how you know I'm not him?
But it's like, you don't, even if you don't agree with the statement, you don't have to be rude back. Like, the kindness of my heart, I said, bless you. I don't give a shit about you being blessed. You know what I mean? But it's like,
bless you then.
I'm going to take it back.
Indian giver.
It was like, it's like, whatever. I don't know what's going on in your life that you just had to just throw some unnecessary shade.
Shade like that. My Valentine's Day was pretty quiet. It's just like,
Pretty relaxing.
It's pretty relaxing, just same old kind of thing. And right now with I don't start, until Monday, so it's kind of low key. Watched Bohemian Rhapsody, which was, like it was good, but then I'm kind of like it's the. Ben has called me a hipster before in the past about music, and I fight that label.
I don't call you a hipster.
Well,
I just say your discography is insane.
But
how's that me calling you a hipster?
Let me finish. I've been labeled as a hipster about music with people because it's either, you're a snob about it, or I'm not. Okay. Anyways.
Oh my God.
All I was trying to say is that
I've never called you that ever.
I don't know who's a. Anyway, all right, forget it.
I can see myself saying
Forget it.
that.
No, I think you probably have. But anyways, what I was trying to say was essentially, the movie was I felt disingenuous to the story of how Queen came together. It was way too sugary and way too convenient because
In the parking lot, hey, you guys need a thing.
Exactly. Freddie Mercury, and not to mention Freddie Mercury didn't write any of the songs. Brian May did.
And I get, I only, because I was going through my Fire Stick to see which movies had a clear copy. And I started that when I watched the first few minutes of it, and it was like, man, I know this is an impactful movie, everybody's talking about it, but man, his teeth really bother me. And it's like I just couldn't, it just really bothered me. I was like, I don't know if I could take a full movie of his teeth like that and his just weirdness. He's just like a quirky kind of I was like, it's just strange, but I know I'm gonna end up watching it, but I'm just unsure about the rest of the movie.
It was okay. I mean, like I said, I'm not. It was all right, but that was my Valentine's Day in a nutshell.
Did anybody do anything like extra for Valentine's Day?
I didn't do anything extra. I almost thought about going to Hooters though, because they have this Valentine's Day, special.
That was the last thing I expected you to say. Actually,
if you bring pictures of your ex and shred them in the restaurant, they'll give you 10 chicken wings with the purchase of 10 wings already.
Why you didn't tell me it's Tuesday?
See, that's
I just found out about it.
That kind of goes with the last subject of just doing too much just to get people in there. Now, I don't know if I shared it in the group chat or I just read it myself, but I read this piece on Hooters and how Hooters is just a dying restaurant
chain.
You know what I mean? So it was big in the 80s, and it's just now you're just like you're getting people there just because you want to show off tits. You know what I mean? So you're subjecting females to this. Maybe they don't want it. But at the same time, it's like it's just been dying and dying. And I read that over the past 4 years that 30% of the restaurants have closed, and it's just going less and less and less. And it's like, whatever. I've been to Hooters twice, not just because I wanted to go there. It was just where should I go eat it? I'm working in the area. All right, I'll go there.
Did you go on Valentine's Day?
No. I sat at home. I made 2. I didn't even do anything. It's not that serious. But I did make 2 chocolate chip cookie hearts, but I ate one of them. So I don't know if I got any credit for that.
How was yours,
You
Jamie?
left one.
I did
That
leave one.
Gave you some credit.
Mm-hmm.
How was yours, Jamie?
I have been sick for the last 4 days. I can't barely breathe.
Cooties.
And yeah, it's all Emily at work's fault. We're blaming everything on Emily at work. She started it, and everybody's sick now. But so I have done nothing but whine and pout about the fact that I'm sick.
Oh, I thought you said you're sick and straight wine.
I just sat here with my Merlot.
Well, I did that.
I heard a good red wine is good for a cold.
Right. Sleep.
Well, when you're drunk enough, you don't care anymore.
True.
Yeah.
Drink a cold, starve a fever.
Well, you know what? It's funny about Hooters too is that their gimmicks. Like I actually knew Hooters Hooters waitress in high school.
I thought you were going to say waiter. I was like,
She ended up being she's now a psychologist, which actually, you know what, in a way, kind of worked because she realized guys like my body, and she's one of the best psychologists in this in Northern Oakland.
You got ugly outfits though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, part of the reason they did so well in the 80s is because that's where their outfits are stuck. Like, those are very 80s outfits. Plus, they didn't have the competition like they do now. There's other bars and restaurants that are themed the same way. So
Yeah, Twin Peaks is terrible. They got terrible food, though.
Yeah,
Terrible food.
terrible service.
Yeah, that too. What'd you say, Ben?
I said that Tilted Killed or whatever that was around.
Oh,
for
yeah,
a
that was in
little
Novi
bit.
for like a minute, and then it was gone.
Well, because the whole chain like stopped existing.
Oh, really?
But they did.
Yeah,
like,
they were
the
10
same
years too
thing.
late, were they?
Yeah. They were like, oh, we'll try to get on this, and then they couldn't get on it.
You know what I think of? When I think of Hooters, I think of like IROC Camaros, Daytona Beach, and and Aquanet hairspray for some strange reason.
They have not done anything to market themselves any better or any different since they started. You know what I mean?
Well, now they use Dick Vitale. What are you talking about?
Wasn't it John? Was it John?
The
Raiders coach,
John Gruden.
It was John Gruden for a while. He was doing these stupid commercials, and he looked really aged too because it was like almost like those Mel Fark Superstar commercials are a lot better, but these commercials look kind of like come into a restaurant.
There is nothing like a good pass, guys, than going to Hooters and getting wings.
Their menu
all right?
sucks, though. Like,
Yeah.
I look at every menu of any restaurant before I go, just so I can have an idea if I'm going to like it or not.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing. It's just like I can go to my local bar and get the same stuff.
What are you going to say, Jamie, by the way?
I agree that their menu is not very inclusive. It doesn't have a lot of different options. You're kind of stuck. But they're easy, quick fixes. Just update those uniforms they make the girls wear a little bit. They just kind of look like sad old gym teachers.
Or even like, but you know what's funny is like, just use better food. I don't know, just don't use the same. Don't use the Applebee's formula. Putting everything from a microwave.
Oh yeah, Applebee's is microwave fresh.
Yeah, everybody loves that place because it's so cheap. It's because
at 2 for $20.
Yeah, there you go. Bam.
I've never liked Applebee's.
I'd rather just stay in the house.
I'm almost reluctant to bring up the next topic. It's about Tom Brady. So, just hold your horses, guys. I don't know if you guys heard the interview where he talked about his pregame ritual he does with his wife, where she makes him an altar and puts his kids' pictures on there, and then he has to say these mantras, and she's able to predict if he's going to win the Super Bowl any given year. Is that weird or no?
Yeah. Right, for sure. But here's the thing. It's only weird if it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like so if it's working, like what if he jumps on each tippy toe twice? You know what I mean? Like if he's continuing to be good, why change it up? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Everybody's that is weird. You know what I mean? That's just too much.
I think it's just weird to someone who doesn't believe in it. Like, there's a lot of people who believe in the power of the mind, and that's pretty much what witchcraft is.
Yeah.
And so if it appears to be working in his eyes or in her eyes, and he's continuously doing it and appearing in Super Bowls and winning Super Bowls, I wouldn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it got me here.
I just think it's funny, and every time he wins another game or something, he has another little ritual that he talks about. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all. It just kind of made me laugh. I can see he's going to win 2 more Super Bowls, and he's going to be like, yeah, these Martians come down and before every game, and they feed me this green goop. And, I thought it was weird at first, but it works, so I'm sticking with it.
It's the manna of God.
Each
That's
one
what he
takes
eats.
another step into a little more bizarre, a little more bizarre, a little more bizarre.
That green goop is called manna. It is a thing.
It's in the Bible.
I was going to say, when a certain group of people were wandering the desert for 40 years, that's all they survived on was manna. So Tom Brady's going to start eating manna and be like, I'm going to play until I'm 50.
Well, he's the Israelites. He's just be like, look, I'm an Israelite now.
Yes.
So that's what he's going to say.
But it has to be administered by Martians.
The add for full comedic effect? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is like the whole manta thing or having the altar thing. It is his wife is from Brazil, and South America has some strange rituals. If you're from the Caribbean, anything from the Caribbean down to South America, they have interesting philosophies, and so whatever works for him. I mean, and Giselle. Giselle, she is like a gazelle, like the way she runs. But Giselle is, I mean, even like the way she has this look on her face sometimes. It looks like she's just going to swallow your soul. So I'm not really surprised by this. But during the games, I see her just yelling and like she's
very intense when she's watching those games.
Yeah, and I'm guarantee she's one of those people that like don't talk to her, don't see her, don't if you bring like somebody's gonna bring a beer to her, she just gotta throw it out there. Like, what are you doing? I'm watching my husband in the theater.
Ask for water with 2 lemons. 2 lemons.
2 lemons. She's not one of those people that refers to the stadium. She refers to it as the operating, or he's in the theater because, like British, the British refer to operation tables as the theater. Don't ask me why, but like lately I've been watching. Well, I know why because Sarah watches Botched, and she's watching the English version now also, which is based off of, and they call it the theater. And anyways, it's been in my head all week, but. That right there.
Well, a lot of people do, though. There's an operating theater. That's what they call it in the medical field in general.
I've never heard it called that in America.
No, they have operating theaters that, if you're learning, you can actually see.
Okay. But in a normal in an application, you wouldn't hear it very often?
No.
Okay. All right, I was just making sure.
As the son of a surgeon, it's called an OR, and that's it. Like, in a different culture, they might still call it a theater. But they do have operating theaters that are at teaching hospitals where, like the Seinfeld episode, where, the junior mints or whatnot.
The infamous junior mint, yeah.
Those still exist. I mean, operating theaters still exist at teaching hospitals because you have to see how an operating room is like. So what's the best way to do it is kind of in a amphitheater type setting where you have a small bowl over a hospital room, an OR room, and you see how it's done and how it's performed and what goes on there, what everyone's role is, because the 6 people that are in the room with you all have a role.
Yeah.
So operating theaters exist still to this day, but it's more of an outdated thing.
I just think it's creepy how she's able to predict what year he's going to win and what year he's going to lose.
But here's the thing, though, right? Like, if she was able to do this, why wouldn't she just say, you're going to win it every year? Like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, bagging on the idea or anything like that. Whatever works for you works for you. Whatever your pregame rituals are, fine. Every athlete has weird rituals. Like, I'm going to put on, the left, like clothes on the left side of my body first, and then the right side, and then I'll be fine.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah, I'll be able to hit for the cycle today. It'll be great. Like what was it in Rookie of the Year, hot ice, stuff like that, like really weird rituals that, go on. And like, this is just one of them. Cause like, I mean, if she could really predict things and this altar thing was really like the longevity of Tom Brady's career, if he doesn't build an altar, what's he going to do? Age like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, just overnight? Or no, it would be The Last Crusade where he takes the wrong drink and he ages like in 5 seconds. So like what? Like that's what I mean. Like, what are we talking about? Like, because again, why? Like, when they were supposed to beat the Giants if Wes Welker caught that one pass, except he didn't, and that's why she got upset. Like I mean, seriously, like what are we talking about? Because if you had that power to predict, why wouldn't you just say, oh, yeah, the Patriots are going to win every year? And then you'd be like the LeBron James of the NFL and go to the finals every single year for a decade.
So do you think that the years that he loses, he goes home, it's your fault?
I would.
Or she'll say, you didn't listen to me.
But
that's exactly what she says, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it says in there, that he said that, like, if you listen to me, this will work, but you have to do exactly as I say. Like, that is one of the quotes from the article.
Yes, it is. So
and he says, so man, I listened to her, and right after the game, she said, "See, I did a lot of work. I do your work. You do your work. I do mine."
That's just the wife claiming that she's doing everything. Yeah. You're good because of me. Like, sure.
I also think that it's really interesting because he is in New England, he is in Boston, and one huge Catholic town. There's been a lot of pushback about that from the Catholic church in the town, and people calling her, like, saying his soul is defiled and stuff of that nature. And you know, I don't know that I'd be walking around Boston claiming that somebody's a witch. They kind of have a bad history with witches. In that
Tommy,
city.
what are you doing to God? Huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing to God?
It's
God,
Tommy. You know, the stadium's up the road, you know? No, that was John. That was more like a Bobby's World mom accent. I'm really sorry. That was bad.
What are you doing, Tommy? What are you doing? Have some chowder. Stop building your altars and just praise the God.
That is a really good Boston accent.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just get in the car.
just get on the goddamn field and just play.
Get in the car and get the coffee.
Gonna go to Salem and burn on the steak, all right? And then we'll go get some steaks to get wicked fucking drunk. Ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
What is this? What is this? Gisele? No, just play football.
She's
Tommy.
a witch. She's a witch. She's a witch.
We burn witches, Tommy.
Tommy,
we burn witches at the stake. We have a history of it.
That was really
we
good.
will do it, Tommy. Yeah, that's probably what they're saying right now in Boston.
Jamie, what else are they saying?
They're dragging you down, Tommy. You got to dump her.
Oh my God.
Emphasis. All right.
We do want to move on to horse.
Yeah, let's move on to
horse.
horse.
On that note, let's play some horse.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness. So who wants to read them this week?
Let's go with H.
All right. I'll read them this week. I'll do it. So you want to turn down just a little bit, Rayvon?
No. Don't tell them what to do.
Come on.
All right. First, keep in mind, Mike, this is the first time that somebody is running the board that's not me in 3 years. I've never let anybody run the board. I've told Papchak numerous times that he should, and I never let him do it because he's always late. So I'm excited.
And you have control issues.
Shh. Shut up. It's not true.
I feel honored.
Yeah, you know what? All right, you know what, Jamie? Okay, yes, I do have control issues because I like the show.
Just embrace it.
Yeah, you know what? I like the show sounding a certain way, and Rayvon's doing an excellent job of running the board. And I'm scared. I was scared. Now I'm not scared anymore. There we go. I've embraced it, and I've moved on. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that.
I just totally thought of like the Home Alone where he steps outside. I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid anymore. You hear that? It's just like that's. You know, I'm sorry. That's the first thing I thought when you said that.
You know, when you're producing something for a long time, it's hard. It's hard. It's your baby. You know.
Oh my God.
All right.
So what does H say?
H. Reporters say the Pistons could have had Mike Conley at the trade deadline. You mad, bro? Or is this one of those first smart moves the Pistons have done? All right, I'll throw it to Pro.
Yes, this is the first time that we can say they didn't do something that they shouldn't have. Like, let's keep our picks. Luke Kennard, I got. You could trade him. I don't really care. Like, but the first round pick, I'm tired of the Pistons trading their first round pick. You know what I mean? I don't like them, but trading your first round pick in hopes for something hasn't worked out for them in recent years. And Mike Conley, he's on the wrong side of 30. Achilles injury, you know what I mean? Another deep contract. I'm cool. I don't want to be paying two dudes $40 million. That's not going to help you out.
I agree. Ben, what do you got?
I mean, one thing that the Pistons still don't know what they have in Luke Kennard. I mean, they really don't. And it's, to me, he's only, in his second year right now?
Second year.
So, like, the knock on him for a while was he gets lost in the offense because he didn't know how, to play a log next to Reggie Bullock. Well, what did they do? They trade Reggie Bullock, right? So now let's see if he actually starts getting the offense. Let's see if he can find a role. That was the knock on Luke Kennard that I've heard recently. And if a team's going to ask for him, I'm not going to trade Luke Kennard for a 31-year-old guard.
No.
I'm not doing that. Like, I'd rather still see what I have in the next 2 years with a kid and then just say, yeah, I'll take the 31-year-old. So, like, it's just... To me, I think the Pistons are just being smart and just being, headstrong. because this is the first time that we've seen it in a while. Because 2 years ago they signed Blake Griffin, and they totally destroyed the rebuild by doing it. So I actually like the fact that Stefanski and company were just thinking about, let's just see what we have, and if Kennard's not good enough, then sure, we'll try trading him next year. But you still have to see what this guy brings to the table.
Exactly. I'm not a fan of trading guys that are still developing. Unless they're Alonzo Ball. But
no, he's great. He's great.
I was kind of upset because I'm like, we had a chance to trade Reggie. I mean, that should have been the ultimate goal. But I understand the Pistons not wanting to part with Luke Kennard. I think he has more upside than Mike Conley, to be honest.
See, I don't care about Luke Kennard. I want the first. You know what I mean? I think that's the bigger deal. Now, if they were willing to trade the first but not Kennard, then I kind of take the statement back of them doing something smart. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like trading Kennard but not the first would have been like a good deal. But I don't know. If a team wants Kennard and it's like you're going to upgrade at point guard, okay.
It's a smart move because trading for Conley, you're only going to probably get to the 6th seed at best anyway and lose in the first round.
Yeah,
I don't really see what the future of that going forward.
I like Mike Conley. He is
solid.
He is a good point guard. He is 8 times
31.
better. He is 8 times better than Reggie Jackson. You know what I mean? Even on a bad night.
Yeah.
So it is an upgrade, but it's not going to do that much to put us over the hump, and it's a bad contract.
Utah, they were trying to trade Ricky Rubio as well, and that fell through.
I wanted Rubio before Jackson. We had that debate on this show, and I was and I was like, how many times have you seen Reggie Jackson on SportsCenter Top 10? How many times have you seen Ricky Rubio? A lot more.
We just saw Reggie Jackson on SportsCenter's not Top 10. That counts for something.
It counts.
And you know what?
It definitely counts for something.
Before we get to you, Jamie, real quick, but I honestly think that's just the Pistons wised up. Colin's got so many miles on him. It's just for his age. He's had a couple new surgeries. And you're right, the draft is much more important. You get a cheaper value for it anyways. And he was, $31 million over 2 years? Something like ridiculous like that. That's something they would be on the books for. Jamie, what do you have?
Well, that's just it. I think that you know what you're getting with him. And he's not going to be the piece that's going to make this the win now, definitely getting the championship. He's the one piece we're missing. So you're not, you could still technically, but you're not going to win the championship this year. You don't want to give up pieces that can build and grow with the team and get you where you want to be when you're basically kind of rebuilding, which I know a lot of people may argue with me about, but they're not in a place to win. They're working on building a team in the future. You don't give up your first round pick, and you don't get rid of your up and coming players for somebody who isn't going to really help and isn't going to be around long term.
Well, and plus in this whole rebuild, right? If you would have traded, Jackson for Conley makes $32 million a year next year, and then $34 the year after that. Reggie Jackson is $17 million and $18 million. So you want to have more money to spend, you keep Reggie Jackson. There's not it's enticing to get a first round pick, but again, at what cost, right? That's what you have to think of immediately is the whole at what cost are we doing this? You're automatically jumping up, and creeping up further until the luxury tax because it's still the stupid deal of having Blake Griffin here. And then you're going to be doubling Reggie Jackson's contract for a first rounder that you're still going to develop when you're already still developing a guy. It doesn't the whole situation of the trade does not make sense at all.
See, all right, now for the Pistons side of it, all right, like I said, I don't like the first round pick, but if you wanted to give up Kennard and Reggie, and they just wanted to dump Conley, maybe give them somebody else, all right. Now, for them, nobody's coming to Detroit anyway, so we trying to penny pinch ain't gonna get us nowhere because nobody's coming here. And our weakest position on our team by far is the point guard position. So, all right, we can only get better since our point guard sucks. You know what I'm saying? So I get that it could help them. Now, I'm everything besides the first round pick. You know what I mean? but it could help them just because Mike Conley is still a very good point guard, and our point guard is the Pistons point guard is the weakest position.
Solid. All right, let's move on to O.
Yeah, we heard it. We heard you say R. We're always going to hold you to that one.
For O, Russell Westbrook's 10 straight triple-doubles and James Harden's 30-plus points a game, 31 games. What is the better accomplishment, or do you agree with Michael Jordan?
I figured they was going to get that. Both. They're all both hard, and uniquely, it shows the talent, that we have within the league. It shows still the progression within the league. I'm very proud about what both guys have done because they're making their mark for the league, and I think it really helps the growth of the league, which is harder from a player standpoint. 6 championships, by all means.
I like the way, by the way, in the video, he just does that little smile, too, like, yeah, that's right. I'm still the greatest. And I love that. But, Jamie, I'll have you start with this one.
Yeah, I got to go with the 30-plus points for 31 games. I got to go with Harden. I think it's a close tie. I mean, it's very difficult to do either one, but I'm going to give it to Harden because I think he's carrying a lot of that team on his back right now.
All right, Ben?
Both, as Jordan said, both accomplishments are great accomplishments. I don't want to belittle one over the other, but you don't have Capella. You don't have Chris Paul. Yeah. You are single-handedly, like we talked about, 3 weeks ago, we were talking about his scoring streak and whatnot, and being one of the best scorers in the NBA in recent memory. What he's doing is flat out insane. He's keeping the Rockets at the 4 seed in the West single-handedly. So with that alone, I gotta go with James Harden's 30-plus games of 30 points or more. What he's doing is stemming the tide until these guys come back, and it's just damn impressive because it seems like he's doing it by himself because he is doing it by himself. So, that alone, I got to give it to Harden, but both accomplishments are great for the league. Both accomplishments are really hard to do, and I believe, yesterday or the day before, Russell Westbrook became the organization's all-time point getter, beating Gary Payton, since we're going to transition back into the Sonics era before they moved to Oklahoma City. That's still an accomplishment in itself. So, what Russell Westbrook has done, a kid from, UCLA, coming here and doing what he's doing and winning MVPs because he's just getting triple-doubles after triple-doubles for the first time since, Oscar Robertson? Yeah. That alone itself is impressive. And he's kind of carrying the Thunder, too. But I still got to give it to James Harden. Just what he's doing is just mind-boggling. It really is, because on a night in a night-out basis, Harden's getting the ball, and you're still not stopping it, at all. That's really hard to do, and he's still getting his points. So I give it to him.
Lance, before we get to Bro.
That's definitely James Harden. And I feel how I feel about him not being able to sustain in the postseason, but on a night-to-night basis, night-to-night basis, man, he is carrying the team. There's nobody around him that can score right now, and we don't know when his help is going to be back. So for him to go out every night and do what he's doing is exceptional.
Bro?
It's Russell, hands down. He's getting a triple-double. He's not shooting well, so he's doing other things. Now, 88% of James Harden's points are coming unassisted. He has 20. He's got I think it was 10,000 more dribbles than the next person. So it's just give it to James Harden. He's just going to shoot. Now listen to other all-stars. Paul Pierce said, if I shot 23 3-pointers in every single game, I'd probably score 30 points every game too. You know what I mean? So it's not fun to watch. Nobody really cares. Majority of the broadcasters and star players are saying yes, it's a hard stat to get, but it's bad basketball. Nobody really cares. Nobody even cares to watch the Rockets. That's why the ratings on their games are down, just because nobody wants to see this one dude just dribble, shoot. So I'm gonna have to go to the triple doubles because that's a lot harder to get, and you're filling up the stat sheet. It's just not let me get 30 points, and I understand all players stat hunt, but okay, you're up 15 in the game and you need 11 points in the last 5 minutes. Oh, I'm gonna get them 11 points. So you're just gonna shoot the next 9 shots just to get to 30. Yes, you are going for a record, but it's bad basketball. It's not fun to watch. You're not doing anything for the game. So I'm gonna have to give it to Russell.
Or you gonna say Rayvon?
I was salty about what Michael Jordan said. He just had to insert himself. I mean, 6 championships, that's not even like a streak. I mean, that's not an individual streak. That's still a team accomplishment. I mean, I thought he shouldn't have even said that, but I'm going to go with Russell. I think that's the triple-double is harder to get, especially when you take 13 threes a game. You should be able to get 30 points.
Not to mention, guys, he's doing this for the season. He's averaging 21 points a game. He's averaging 11 rebounds a game and 11 assists. That is hard to do. That is very hard to do. And I understand what Ben was saying. Ben's right. There's nobody out in Houston who score, but to Pro's point, it's not fun to watch. But Westbrook has always been known as a guy who has shot first. But since Paul George has been with that team, he's a completely different player. He's becoming a complete player. I love watching him play. I mean, he even defensively, he's gotten better. I mean, it's not much, but still enough to go, well, he's the kind of straw that stirs the drink a little bit. To average a triple-double for the season like that, that's Oscar. That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive. And yes, right now James Harden will probably win the MVP, but slowly creeping up.
I hope so.
Slowly creeping up that list is Paul George, like 100%.
Yeah.
Like he's in the top 2 of Defensive Player of the Year. He probably win that, and he's killing on the offensive side. You know what I mean? Like, yes, James Harden is a great shooter, but if you're going to shoot 25, 30 shots a game, I would hope you would get 30 points. If you're going to go to the line 12 times a game, I would hope you would get 30 points. So it's not that big of a deal. Yes, it looks good on paper, but it's bad basketball.
If it was doing it on more or less shots, then I'd be far more impressed.
that would for sure put it over the edge. But when I look at your thing, you're averaging 26 shots a game and going to the line 10 times.
And you have the highest usage rate.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, so it's bad basketball.
All right, so we're going on. Adam Silver says he has not given any thought about being commissioner for the NFL after reports came out saying that some NFL owners wanted him over Roger Goodell. Would you jump ship if you were him? Let's start with Jamie on this.
I honestly, it's not really an option. It's not like they're saying, if you come over, we're going to throw Goodell out on his ear. But I would love to see him come over because I'm quite on the record as hating Goodell and everything he does and think he's worthless. So I would give it a shot. I think he could make a huge impact on the game.
Ben?
Well, I like what he's done in the NBA. He's made the NBA a sport that's now covered 365 days a year. He's led, social conscious awareness within the NBA, within things that happen on a day-to-day basis. He's a great commissioner in that regard, and the NFL needs someone like Adam Silver. But the thing is, NFL owners aren't as receptive as NBA owners. So that's where you're running into that wall. So even if you jumped ship, I don't think you'd be seeing the same Adam Silver that we see now. You would just see a talking mouthpiece that Roger Goodell is, a guy that talks out of both sides of his mouth and just collects his $50 million a year paycheck for doing nothing. And, that's why I don't want him to see him jump ship. I like what he's done in the NBA. The NBA is growing. It's, becoming more popular with kids of any age, except, here in Detroit where the product sucks, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't want him going anywhere. I think, until the NFL owners change their mind and get out of their old ways, which they're not going to do, nothing in the NFL is going to change. So stay where you are. Keep doing a good job. Just stay in the NBA, Adam Silver.
So if I was Adam Silver, would I jump ship? Hell no.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's way too many headaches in the NFL. He's got it made in the NBA. Like, absolutely made. There's no health injuries. There's no, abuse issues. There's so many different headaches in the NFL that you don't have in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's easy for him to succeed, but David Stern didn't do much, and not a lot of people hate him unless you're a Lakers fan like me. But Adam Silver, everybody loves him, and he really hasn't done a lot.
Wait, why would you hate David Stern as the Lakers fan? He literally loves the L.A. I mean, he had L.A.
He's talking about that Chris Paul trade.
He nixed the Chris Paul trade. So.
Yeah, so? But look what else he did with L.A., though. I mean, he's got gold around his lips, man.
L.A. would have won a couple more championships if that trade we went through. But that's neither here nor there. But Adam Silver, I would not. If I was him, I would never go to the NFL. He has it absolutely made in the NBA. And basketball's better. So
I agree. Don't jump ship. Like, the most scrutiny Adam is gonna go through in the NBA is getting memed of people saying that he plays for the Golden State Warriors.
He looks like a vampire.
He does, but in the NFL, you're gonna get sued by the players. So
yes, the money's good. You're gonna make $50 million just to make bad decisions and not do anything. So what? But people are gonna hate you. It's gonna be like tough decisions all the time. Like, you got it made. People love you. You'll probably get you a lifetime contract if you want it. So, no. But it's crazy that, but that just shows how good that he's doing that. If NFL owners are like, man, we need to get him over here because maybe we can get the same type of advancement.
How different would the NFL be if Adam Silver was there? Would, you know what I mean? Because, would we have more guaranteed money and contracts if he was there like there are in the NBA? You know, would, that's
maybe the concussion protocol might be better.
That's what I mean. I'm genuinely curious, how the NFL would be different if he was there.
Might be more of a social consciousness atmosphere.
Hopefully. That's what I'm saying. You hope.
There might be more second chances for guys getting in trouble off the field.
I also think he would, PR-wise, would be a lot better. Their PR would be on point.
Yeah, see, Goodell just made bad decisions, in time. You know what I mean? Just all right, when the first domestic violence came out, all right, 2 games for Ray Rice. You know what I mean? People killed him over that. And there's just certain decisions that he's made that, okay, if the same thing happened 10 years ago, we probably wouldn't get ridiculed for it. But now he is. So, and people hate him for it. And it's just we still hate you from the last thing and you just did something again. So people knock him for past things that he's done. But Adam Silver, he's got it made. Just say where you're at.
Let's move on to S.
Okay, let's move on to S. And let's see. Dell Dumps fired as Pelicans GM.
Dumps.
Demps. Dell Demps was dumped.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, dumpster fire. Do you think it's stemming from the Anthony Davis situation or an inevitable situation that took this long? So I'll start with you, Pro, on this.
There were rumors that he was on his last leg in the past few years, and he's the position that they are in now is because of him. He kept betting on this year. We're kind of trying to do something for this year. I'm not talking about this actual year, but in the current year that they're in. And they kept salvaging their future. We'll give you future picks. Now they don't really have anything, and their best player wants to leave. I kind of feel like ownership wanted them to make the trade, because there's too many different variables that could happen in the offseason where, okay, now Kyrie leaves. Boston's not giving up Tatum. So now you're going to have to go back to L.A., and L.A. is going to take 2 players off the deal because now you need them. So, and then Anthony Davis just got hurt. So now you're damaging your product. So ownership was livid when Anthony Davis left the arena early from the injury. He should not be on that team whatsoever. Demps was betting on the offseason, and 1 week after the deadline, it's already burned the team. And they were like, it's you don't collect $200, you leave right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that if you're responsible for making that move happen and you're betting on the offseason, what you're doing is saying that that's not a priority to you. You got a guy that does not want to be on your team. And at every moment, he's showing you, I don't want to be here. He's telling you, I don't want to be here. And then, like you said, with the injury now, 1 week afterward, it just looks like a lost cause all the way around. So, yeah, I think he should be going.
Reports came out that said that if Demps pulled the trigger on the Lakers deal, he was out of there anyway. So they kind of put him in a no-win situation.
Yeah,
it didn't just start.
He had a hot seat coming into it just because.
And the boogie thing didn't help.
Oh yeah, of the moves that he made, he gambled on that, and then that kind of messed up.
They let Rondo walk.
It kind of let the future mess up the future. So it was already in the works of happening. This situation just made it worse. And like I'm betting on the offseason, and he shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? He should have just made a move. Like, a player wants to go. If he doesn't want to be here anymore, so if I don't trade him, you think he's just gonna just put up 50 points a game after we don't trade him? No. And then he's already been known for being injury prone, and then he gets hurt. Like, so they barely played him coming back after the trade deadline, and then he didn't play good whatsoever, and then he gets hurt. Man, it was a wrap for him.
Is he hurt?
Well, that's the thing. He's not. He still plans on playing in the All-Star game. It's a shoulder bruise. It's not like he separated his shoulder, right? I mean, it's not like.
But he shouldn't. He shouldn't have been put in that situation. I understand. Like, you don't want to give the players power and this and that, but I mean, let's just look at the team. Are we doing anything this year? Probably not. Are we going to do anything next year? Maybe, maybe not. But we're not going to keep you because you're not going to re-sign. So we're going to trade you anyways. So how about you just do me a solid, since I've given you blood, sweat, and tears for the past 5 years? How about you just do me a solid and just get me out of here so I can go win somewhere? But now you put me in a bad situation.
But here's the thing, though, right? Like, I don't think it just stems from the Anthony Davis situation. I think
that's the boiling point. That was the tipping point.
But because here's the thing, right? As an organization, I'm not going to let another organization bully me into a trade, and that's what the Lakers were doing. They were doing everything in their power to get Anthony Davis. They were saying, "Well, we'll give you our entire bench. We'll do this. We'll do this." How
Big Magic Johnson.
But in all seriousness, though. Why not wait until the offseason when you have more teams that you can, talk with? The Celtics are very, very interested, which again would drive up the Lakers' cost even more. That's just smart business. So I'm not gonna dump on the guy for not dealing Davis at the trade deadline.
But they didn't.
Hang on, because I want more suitors to drive up that price. I don't care if Davis is injury prone or not, or if he should be playing or not. That's a coach's decision and kind of a management decision. That's all a red herring. I want more teams to drive up that price so I can get more back if I'm trading a superstar. And that's what the Lakers were doing. The Lakers weren't going to give up a Kuzma. They weren't going to give up a big-name player for Anthony Davis. They were just going to be like, hey, we're just going to give you like a little bit of this, and it's fine. Take it. And no, I'm not going to let one team hold my biggest prized possession hostage. That's just stupid and ludicrous. So, like,
the price is only going to be high if Kyrie is in Boston.
Why are you settling?
The only way the price will be high if Kyrie stays in Boston. But if he leaves, that's 25% off the asking price is getting cut off, guaranteed. And it's only a handful of teams anyway. You're hoping New York gets the number one pick. If they don't get the number one pick, you're not getting Anthony Davis. If Kyrie leaves Boston, you're not getting Jason Tatum. So you're going to come crawling back to Lakers.
Let's see how it plays out.
I think it was more of a like a petty thing. Like, they did it too publicly. Maybe if they would have did this quietly and not.
They tried to, but Rich Paul, he tried.
I think just because we did this so publicly, I'm just not going to do it just because.
But
and now it's going to look like if I trade him to the Lakers, now it's like, oh yeah, they bullied me into the trade rather than I'm making my own decisions. So it was almost a no-win situation.
It was a no-win situation for this guy.
But they're betting on the offseason. But I guarantee you, if Kyrie's gone, it's a wrap. They lost everything.
I'm pretty sure Kyrie's gone.
And the thing about it is, Magic
here's the thing, though, too. You still have Davis under contract for
just next year.
I know. You still have him under contract. We could be having this discussion a year from now. Like, that's really the fake importance of getting rid of him. At this trade deadline is bullshit.
But here's it. Not to cut you off.
I'm sorry, but it is. It's absolutely.
If they would have had negotiations in good faith, like Magic Johnson said they did not, more things could have happened. Now, okay, clearly Lonzo Ball doesn't need to be there. Now, it was reports that you can do a 3-team trade. Who needs a point guard in the West? Bad. The Phoenix Suns. They could have given up a first-round pick. Now you're going to get Kuzma, Zubac, Ingram, 2 first-round picks from the Lakers, 2 second-round picks from the Lakers, and a first-round pick from Phoenix. You could have gotten 3 first-round picks and a couple.
You can still get that. That's my point.
Contingent on Kyrie Irving. That's it. Now, if Kyrie's gone, bro, we're not giving you that. Guarantee you.
Any thoughts, Jamie?
Oh, no. We're moving on to E.
Oh, moving on?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're moving on to E.
Okay.
We're moving on to E. What's your favorite All-Star Weekend moment for you from the past? Would it be a game, 3-point contest, dunk contest winner? I have mine real quick. The D. Brown 1991 dunk where he put his hand over his eyes and dunked. Because of course, that was one of the first All-Star competitions I actually watched. And I thought that dunk, and then, of course, my favorite one, too, was also Harold Miner, a.k.a. Baby Jordan, who never amounted to anything. So I'm aging myself a little there, but those are my two favorites.
The dunk contest is always the best part of All-Star Weekend. And I do love, in recent history, they're doing this, like the Rising Stars Challenge. That's very I actually watched that more than I watched the All-Star Game, like 100%. But the dunk contest has always been it for me, and just all-time two greatest was either Jordan and Vince Carter. So it's kind of hard to choose between Vince putting his whole arm through the rim or Jordan doing the free throw twice. You know what I mean? So it was both of those, and also like an honorable mention, East versus West, one of the Kobe's last great years, and at the end of the game, LeBron James did not want to guard Kobe for that game-winning shot. Play defense, brother.
How about you, Rayvon?
I would say that Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon dunk contest, that did it for me. That was like the best dunk contest I've ever seen, and either guy could have won it in any year. I'm not a fan of the celebrity game. I think those are pretty pointless. I tried to watch it last night. Didn't really care for it.
It's interesting, but I actually like it because you see like how trash some people are. You know what I mean? Like, not to make fun of anybody, but I was watching the game and it was just like, clearly nobody's practiced with each other because everybody's playing iso ball or get the rebound, shoot it right back up, and everybody is equally trash. And so it's kind of like, man, because you always think like, I always watch teams like I could probably do this. I can do that.
LeBron, he ruined the dunk contest by not participating. He set a bad precedent.
I don't know. Well, he probably should have, but when you're already, you don't need more light or more awesomeness when you're already awesome. Like, if I do it, I'll probably win just because I'm LeBron. So it's.
I mean, would you rather watch LeBron or Terrence Ross in the dunk contest?
I don't know. Depends if it's past LeBron, because I was never really a LeBron fan until he joined the Lakers.
Jamie, what about you?
I love the dunk competition. Like Mike said, I always think that's the best part of the game or the weekend, because you do see things that you don't see in an everyday game. It's a little more fun, and that's what I always watch. I don't even watch the game at all. All-Star games are so pointless to me.
There's actual effort in a dunk contest. That's
right,
like the
exactly.
only thing there's actual effort in.
What was the skills? The one where they were doing? What was the skills one where they're doing the shots? They do certain shots and then pass it through the.
Oh yeah, see that's cool.
I like that too. I wish that's cool.
And we can thank that to Adam Silver. You know what I mean? Like some of these All-Star game changes, it's from Adam Silver and the things that he's done. So
kind of remind me of American Gladiators sometimes with that, because the way that
that was the show back in the day.
Yeah, that show was awesome. So, Ben, what about you? Do you have any moments?
I always like the 3-point contest. No, in all seriousness, I do. That's always fun. Like the money ball, if it goes in or not, like the excitement of it. But how can you forget the East Bay Funk dunk of 1994 with Isaiah Ryder? That was
Isaiah
awesome.
Ryder. That's
because no one's ever seen that type of athleticism before, like in a dunk contest. I mean, we saw glimpses of it, but nothing like that with that creativity. So that's my favorite moment, because it was just awesome to see live. So but I've always been a fan of the 3-point contest just because that always seems fun. And then the game, what was it? Last year or 2 years ago, they had the Game of Lightning with the current stars, and Reggie Miller came out and did a shooting contest too to raise money. I forget what it was for though. That was pretty neat.
The one year they had horse. They actually had horse.
Yeah, so stuff like that would be fun. Like stuff like that's fun. But like I said, I'm a fan of the 3-point contest just because It is. It's fun.
There's some effort there too because people do want to win that. And
well,
this year's cool. They got
like Larry Bird, reaching into the what is it?
Fountain of Youth?
No.
The rack?
Yeah, thank you. The rack, to get it, the timing of it, getting into a rhythm, all that stuff is just cool. So.
That is a good call because especially with that, every time they get the money ball, they get like the
here comes the money ball, and it's like the USA basketball, the red, white,
but
blue
it's
ball.
or the gold.
Yeah. You got the brothers going against each other this year. You got Seth and Steph, and then Dirk's in the game this year too. So the NBA is probably one of the only franchises that I like the All-Star. Like I don't watch hockey. I care less about that. Football, I don't really care about that. Sometimes about the skills challenge, but for the most part, I probably watch more of the NBA All-Star weekend than anything.
Fair.
All right, Lance, you got anything before we get
I
out
agree.
of here?
No.
All right. So that's horse for you for this week. I plan on we're doing tonight. By the way, if you guys are more than welcome to come over. Tonight, I'm having some people over to watch the competition. We usually do betting. Like, we'll put names in a hat and we'll bet. And you win a small little pool. We get some pizza.
What are we betting?
Who wins the dunk contest? Put names in the hats.
Gotcha,
you know what I mean? Like, we draw the names, and then what we do is we'll bet. We'll put $5 or $10 in, and we'll whoever wins will get the pot, the 3-point contest, the dunk contest. So just adds a little excitement to the game itself.
What kind of pot?
Like $10. You want to come over, man?
That was not the joke, right?
I know what kind of pot. Look, if you want some strawberry koosh, I don't know what you're talking about. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But
he said koosh.
Or whatever. Yeah, I said koosh. I sound like such an old hippie.
You and those stupid jazz cigarettes that you kids smoke.
I got koosh.
Hippie lettuce.
Yeah, hippie lettuce. Okay.
Jazz cigarettes, hippie lettuce, whatever you want to call it.
All right, so the NFL action never sleeps, Rayvon.
Thoughts on the Browns signing Kareem Hunt?
Oh, we gotta cut the music, man. This is not no NBA Jam music, or this is no NFL music. No,
I think it was a smart move because teams would have done it eventually anyways. He would have gotten signed to a team this year. Mm-hmm. So they just did it first. It was guaranteed he would have got picked up. I was just surprised that it happened this fast, but I was like, all right, if you're going to make a move, you might as well. Now, they already had a talented backfield right now with Chubb or whatnot, but Kareem Hunt on the squad, it's not, and it's like pennies on the dollar. $645,000 with incentives to get him to $1.1 million. What's that? You know what I mean? That's chump change. So low risk, high reward. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at it. It would have happened anyways. Everybody deserves a second chance and some type of a capacity. You know what I mean? Now, since the things happened, they have done they have followed him around and reports he's doing a rigorous therapy sessions and trying to get better and doing this and doing that. It's not like he's just going to someplace on Tuesday to talk about his past stuff. He's going 3 to 5 times a week. He's actually trying to put an effort. Who knows if he actually means it, but on paper it shows that he's actually making an effort. So I can't knock him for that. But just on a business side of it, smart move. Pennies on the dollar. You know what I mean? You get an A+ for effort for me.
All right. Well, I know that I was thinking of contention among Lions fans. There's the reason why I bring up Lions fans is because it was kind of a Twitter storm about whether you think the signing by Cleveland, he should have been a Lion, and there's the two camps on that. But Jamie, what is your perspective on that? Because I was intrigued to see the kind of responses from Cleveland fans versus Lions fans who thought they should sign him versus not who should sign him.
I didn't want anything to do with him. I've made no bones about the fact that I don't want him as a Lion. I don't want him playing football at all. I don't like that they signed him in Cleveland, and I don't even like the Browns. I don't think he deserves to be rewarded with a career that is going to be lucrative and put him in the public eye all the time. He is an abuser, and he deserves to be treated as an abuser. He doesn't get to drop that. He shouldn't get to be playing on the field and be somebody's hero. No. Nope, no.
Why do you guys think he got a second chance, even though his stuff was caught on video?
Or conspiracy to like Ray Rice, you mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
Ray Rice didn't get a second chance because he was about to turn 30. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason why. You know what I mean? Like other teams thought about it. Kind of, he had a couple workouts. You know what I mean? But you're about to turn 30, and like the block is hot. You know what I mean? We're not bringing you in here. You're about to turn 30. Kareem Hunt is young. You know what I mean? So, yes, I've maybe thought he probably would sit out a year. You know what I mean? But on the business side of it, yes, morally, it's questionable. You know what I mean? But on the business side of it, smart move.
Not to mention, but here's the thing: for every owner of Donald John blank on the damn running back's name, the Browns running back,
Chubb.
Imagine you're a Nick Chubb owner in a fantasy league right now, and for fantasy purposes, or I mean, you can combine the two players. I mean, look, the history with Hunt is because he was the Chiefs GM drafted him, or has in history with him. So he didn't draft him, but
he did.
He did draft. Okay, all right, good.
But
I'm not crazy.
He's just helping out your career. Now you don't have to have everything on you. Having Kareem Hunt, he's talented, so he's going to help out the team. And Chubb wasn't the best in the passing game anyway. So yes, he's going to steal a few touches, but he's going to be more of a passing down back. But there's certain players like, yes, you took a guy that's in my position, but if you got to look at the talent of the player, it's like, all right, he can only help me and help the team. You know what I mean? So morally, like I said, it's questionable, but it was going to happen. 100% some team would have signed him during the offseason. So if you have that information, you know that, why be the last person to try to make that attempt?
Then, too, it's not like the league came out in public and said, we're going to, sit him out for a year. He's free game until the league says he's not free game. He served his little suspension for the rest of the season. And as soon as it became marketable, like, Cleveland just swooped in. Like, why should we wait? And then if they can get creative enough with that offense to use him, like you said, third down back or some type of slot receiver, it's just going to open up the field for
Baker.
They're going to be dangerous. They're already right on the cusp, getting 2 years.
And they set us all up.
Yep.
About a month ago, when they had a conversation, the GM was talking about or when they hired the coach or whatnot. It's like, yeah, I contacted him just to see how he was doing. You don't care about him. Like that was you testing, you putting your foot in the water to see if it's warm. All right, just you putting it out there that, hey, I kind of like this guy. Now your sports reporters in your town are going to talk about it. You're going to get the fan perspective, like do they like this? Do they not like this? So when they brought this out, when he said this, he was just testing the water to see how bad the fans were going to react. They didn't get that bad of a reaction. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, let's just do it. We're not going to get. We suck. So what's it going to matter by adding a questionable person? Like, we can only go up from here.
I was going to say, if they start out 5-1 next season, you think they're going to care about his morals?
No, and and I've said this on the show numerous times. Winning cures everything. It doesn't matter. Now, if he fumbles 8 times in 3 games, he's like, oh yeah, he sucks. He hits women. He sucks. Get him off the team. You know what I mean? But if he's doing good, people are going to stop talking about it. That's just how our world is. Not saying that it's right, but
I think you're discounting a huge portion of the female fan base. They don't forget. You see it in the MLB every time. Every time Chapman gets signed somewhere, you see a huge uprising, especially from the female fan base. Some people forget, but you are risking a huge, huge outcry from your fans, a fan group you're trying to get more involved in your sport every time you sign somebody like him.
The NFL is going to create a section of the stadium for you. Bad one.
Ben, what do you got? Ben, you haven't said much. What are you going to say? Yeah, I'm sure you have quite a bit to say about this.
Well, I think there's a high risk in signing him. I mean, financially it's not, but
what is it? 1 year?
It's 1 year.
$1 million.
$645,000, which is guaranteed. He's got with another $455,000 with roster bonus incentives that could get him to 1.1.
But here's the thing. He still hasn't come off the non-exempt list, right? So we still don't know if he's going to even play in the first 5 or 6 games next year. We don't know anything with that yet. So, I mean, yeah, basically the Browns are just they got him so that they could hold on to him, because their backfield is still pretty good. Duke Johnson's a pretty good back. Obviously, we saw what Nick Chubb did in his rookie season. So, it's what
Duke Johnson is going to be a roster guy. He's due like $5 million, and his job.
But right now, you can't cut him.
Yeah, until what they find out about Kareem Hunt and how long the suspension is going to be. But if they find out during the season it's going to be like 2 games, like Duke Johnson will be a cap casualty, because they were already talking about it coming into the season without Kareem Hunt, and he had a very low usage rate last year, whatnot.
Anyways,
yeah, let's move on to the Colin Kaepernick.
Hey, hang on.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't done.
You said anyways, so it just wasn't.
Well, because I was interrupted. So, because you want to get my thoughts, I didn't give my thoughts yet. Like I said, I mean, it's cheap financially, so I mean, it makes sense for Cleveland to do it, but there's still a high risk with it. I don't think, if John Dorsey did not draft this guy in Kansas City, he would not be a Brown. And I think, because I had this discussion with Jake Chapman, who used to be here in Detroit. Now he has a radio show in Cleveland. He was coming out with an idea that we should, give kind of praise to John Dorsey, because he takes these risk projects and he turns them around. He mentioned Tyreek Hill in Kansas City. We know what happened there. He mentioned Antonio Galloway, obviously, but he slipped in training camp. And these other risks. And I think there's a major risk in Cleveland. Like Jamie said, you're still trying to win over this fan base. You don't have a championship winning culture, because that's what Jake was talking about. Well, the Patriots do this all the time. The Patriots have a winning championship culture. The Browns don't have that yet. You finished 7-8-1. At best, you would have been 500 on the year, which, in the past 3 years with the Browns, seems like a huge accomplishment, but you're not a good football team yet. You're still trying. People in Cleveland do not trust the Browns. They're like how Detroiters are with the Lions. They don't trust the Lions. Like, no one here in Detroit trusts the Lions to be this quote-unquote winning organization, this winning franchise. So I think it's a calculated risk by Cleveland, but I don't like the move at all. I don't, because you're in a fragile position as a franchise that you're trying to be a playoff contender every year. And yet, if this happens, if let's say Kareem Hunt in week 9 gets caught doing something again, you have more egg on your face, and you're going to lose more of that shareholder stock with your fan base that's trying to buy into this team. Because Cleveland does. They want to buy into the Browns so bad, but they're afraid to, because they know that the Browns suck. So, I get why they did it. I'm not saying I don't get why they did it. I just don't like the move. I don't like the move at all. There's too much at risk in a fragile organization, and especially with a new head coach now in Freddie Kitchens. Why bring this to your franchise? To me, your franchise is still fragile. I get what they're doing. I get it. It's a calculated risk. I don't like the move.
I don't think the Browns are trying to sell anything to their fans, because they have a fan base. People know what they are, and they were still having sellout crowds when they're 0-16. The year before that, 1-15. People were still coming, so it's not like they need to sell anything. People still love the Browns. Like we've talked about on the show, Cleveland sucks. There's not a lot going there anyways.
Cleveland does not rock.
So,
contrary to the popular belief on the song.
Oh man, see, this is why you wish you were running the board.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We'd be hearing Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what? Today I'm glad the power was taken away from that, because I would have gone a little crazy with that. I admit it. But let's move on and let's talk a little bit about the Colin Kaepernick settlement. Go ahead. Or do you have something else?
No.
Okay.
I thought that's what we were going to hit on next.
Yeah. So go ahead, Rayvon. We're gonna.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick, obviously he sued the NFL for, blackballing him from playing. And they recently reached a settlement. They can't disclose the terms or how much it was, but...
Big bucks.
Yeah, it was
Big
estimated to be about 50 M's.
Yep, 100%. Because you looked at his average, you're probably going to make 20 a year. You missed 2 years. So to even have this conversation, we're going to talk 50. We're going to start at 50.
Is this a bad look for the NFL, or is this a good look for Cap?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I knew this was going to happen when Eric Reed signed. You know what I mean? He was one of the top safeties when he was a free agent, didn't get to play, and then now he's signing a 3-year deal. You know what I mean? So it's like that's proof in the pudding that you just blackballed me just because I was standing next to my boy. So I think they paid them even more just for the simple fact of it was just about the arbitrator was going to make her decision next week. And then everything would have come out. Text messages, emails, conversations, and the NFL did not want that to happen. So I know that probably the starting price is probably about $50, but my guess is it's between $75 and $100 million that Cap got just because the NFL didn't want all this stuff to come out. So yes, people are going to knock Cap for taking the pay instead of fighting for a cause, but at the same time, who knows what would have happened in the long run anyways. I kind of feel like if there wasn't something, they wouldn't have settled. So I think by them settling, that where there's smoke, there's fire. So, but I knew once the whole once Reed got signed, it would be different. But that's the same thing as like the last thing, the last topic we had about Kareem Hunt. People were talking about you don't want to sign these guys because it's going to be bad publicly. You know what I mean? But it's still all it took was one team to take a chance, and then all right, now nobody's complaining about Eric Reed anymore, and he still kneeled while he was in Carolina. Are we talking about it? No, because people stopped talking about it and caring about it. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for the situation. You know what I mean? And hopefully Cap does get a chance. They probably paid him a little bit extra money because we know that they're not going to sign him.
They paid him some hush money.
You know, like you're not going to get signed next year. So how about we just go ahead and throw some money on top of that anyway? So. I'm happy. I've been a Caps supporter and defender, and in my dynasty league, I've kept Cap on my roster ever since day one. You know what I mean? Just for faith. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Lance,
I agree that the NFL saw what was coming up, and they wanted to kind of put some makeup on this whole thing. Like, so the numbers are going to come out soon, but like I actually think it was a win for Cap. He held out as long as he absolutely could. They took the NFL to the limits that I think a lot of people would have folded because they wanted to play, not trusting their mettle to get the solution that they wanted to come with. So this is the NFL doing a PR move, trying to like just sweep this under the rug and keep it moving. My opinion.
Roger?
I think so too. I mean, you got to, even with the AAFL stuff too, like they're talking about, that also adds an element to it as well. But, I don't feel sorry for, by the way, with all this, is the guy from Colorado with the T-shirt jersey store. Like he wasn't selling or Nike Capper and stuff. Was that what it was? And now his stores
that stopped selling the Nike stuff.
Yeah, and now his store's going to close.
Yep.
First of all, you're a dumbass. You know no. Do you not know how to read an Excel spreadsheet? Ben, do you know how to read an Excel spreadsheet?
I like to think I do.
All right, Pro, do you know how to read an Excel? Yeah.
I concur what he said.
Yeah. Rayvon, same thing. You know how to, okay. Lance, all right. Jamie.
Yep.
Okay, you know how profit and loss works, right?
Mm-hmm.
The simple, basic thing. Okay, so if I'm looking at my Excel sheet and be like, damn, I lost, $10,000 this month. I should sell Nike again.
Mm-hmm.
I like just because
you put your a weird stance.
Yeah,
and
that's the dumbest stance of like. Come on, man.
And then
okay, take a b-boy stance or something. You know what I mean? But don't take that stance.
Okay, now you can take a stand. Now look at the numbers at the end of the month. All right, it ain't making dollars, so it ain't making sense. So I'm gonna put the Nike back on the rack, like 100%. Like. You have a stance until it's costing you money. Now I understand, like, yeah, you stand up for what you believe in, you fight for it. Well, now your store is closed. You know what I mean? So how far did that get you?
Working at the Piggly Wiggly.
Now he's out.
Nice Piggly Wiggly.
He's got Foot Locker experience, so he probably got hired for assistant manager at a Foot Locker down there.
What are you gonna say, Jamie?
Like the sheer irony of it, though, like. I'm going to stand for what I believe in because I don't believe that Colin Kaepernick should be able to stand for what he believes in. So since he took a knee, I'm not going to sell any Nike stuff anymore. And look, it didn't work for him. He got it. He doesn't have a job now. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, wait, no, I don't have a store either.
Yeah, but
it's so ironic.
It sounds like some sort of weird inception, like just...
Yeah. ha ha ha! How dare he take a stand? I'm going to take a stand too, and I'm going to do it at my job because that was the big thing. Like people were like, "Oh, you can't protest at your job." You can, and this guy did. He did exactly what he was upset about Colin Kaepernick doing, other than the fact that it didn't include the national anthem.
No, and
he lost big time because of it.
And not like to talk trash about it, but nobody actually gave a shit about the national anthem. You know what I mean? Like, how many people in this room said, "I can't wait to hear the national anthem before today's game"?
No, because they made a big deal out of it. Here's a question,
The only time you care about the national anthem is at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Who's singing it? You know what I mean? Best all time, Marvin Gaye and Whitney Houston. But that's
tape recorded, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's like nobody cared about it. Now you're making people care about something that they didn't actually care about.
Yeah, the PR spin on it was so great. But here's a question for you too: if you drop Nike, and this is a question that Sarah asked, if you drop Nike, do you ever get them back? Well, you know what I mean? Like if you drop Nike as a supplier, I wonder if you ever get them back.
I don't know. Depends on how much money that store made. Now, if they were making bucks on bucks on bucks, but if it's just some random chain in Colorado, 10 more will open up in the same time that you're closing.
Well, according to because she used.
Well, here's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
My thought on it too is that it's going to depend. Like in this particular case, if I were Nike, heck yeah, you can get my stuff back. Let me just go on record showing everybody that you've decided that you are going to sell the thing that you stood up there and told everybody you weren't. We're going to make sure that we make that a big news day. Just like, hey, yeah, see what happens when you tell me you're not going to sell my stuff?
Well, that's what Nike, because Sarah used to work in the shoe business. If you blackball Nike, you're done. They'll blackball you. You're done. I mean, you are.
Your first shipment, will you open it up, it'll be a Kaepernick jersey.
Yeah, it's also Phil Knight. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jamie.
No, that's what I mean. Like I could see that in this particular instance, it would behoove them to say, okay, yeah, we'll give you stuff again. We'll supply you with Nike again. We're going to make a big deal about it. We're going to make it national news because you made it national news that you weren't going to carry it. We're going to make it national news that you came crawling back to us begging to sell Nike again.
My problem with this, and it happened when the news broke, and I immediately put it on NFL Live, and it happened perfectly. NFL Live's at 4 o'clock, and the news broke at like 4:15. Teddy Bruschi infuriated me. He asked,
he infuriates me.
You know what he said? He was like, "Give me the definition of collusion."
Oh,
you don't
my God.
you don't know
Come
what
on
collusion means? Did you just literally make the dude next to you give you the definition of collusion?
Was it a rhetorical question, or is he actually a serious
he was sitting there like, and he waited for the entire definition.
For those who are hearing this on the podcast, he was nodding his head back.
Yeah,
and forth.
he was nodding his head like, okay, and he waited for the full definition. Then he starts talking about, bruh, did you not know what collusion is? You needed this guy to tell you what collusion is, and you're working on NFL Live. It's not the first conversation you've had about this matter. So now you're talking about, well, Cap shouldn't have took the money. Is it really collusion now? It's like he pissed me off yesterday. It's like, bruh, like. When he started, what's the definition of collusion? You sound stupid.
No, that's a good way to put it, Jamie. Ben, you got any final thoughts before we move the Tigers go to the World Series?
Get excited! No, I mean, I think the NFL knew that they were screwed, so they paid hush money to make sure this wasn't going to go into court and drag this out further. The NFL was going to look terrible. And that's why they were going to pay. I'm seeing figures to $60 to $80 million. And people are like, well, if Colin Kaepernick loved the game, he should be playing in the AAF. Well, no, Nike's paying him $20 million a year. And he just got this huge settlement, which probably totals close to $100 million. He doesn't have to do a goddamn thing.
And do you know how much players are making in the AFL?
AAF.
AAF, whatever. Like $650,000.
Yeah.
Like that's. Everybody has that deal.
Right.
Like, so are you going to play for $650,000 where you can end your life?
Well, like, here's the thing, right? It's this, and this is why this argument is stupid. And people that make this argument are just, they don't make any sense. If you won the lottery, you won $100 million, would you still go to your job that you make $30,000 at because you love the work so much? No.
I don't care what anybody says. You ain't doing that shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, like, people are like, well, That's the red herring that's brought with this whole Colin Kaepernick thing as well. If he still could play, it's like, no, he doesn't have to anymore. He can still be raising awareness with social injustice the way he's doing and still making $100 million and doing a damn good job of it, too, because it is advancing it. And this hush money payment from the NFL only furthers his point that these owners are so intolerant. That's why it would be interesting if Adam Silver was a commissioner in the NFL, but I don't think the owners would let him be the Adam Silver that he is now in the NBA.
Do you believe David Stern when he said if Cap was in an NBA that he'd already be back playing?
Yeah.
I think if Cap was a small forward somewhere, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he would.
You see the free speech that players put on their shirts, jerseys, pregame. You wouldn't you're going to get fined for having the wrong thing on your shoes in the NFL. You know what I mean?
After the shootings in Ferguson, which team was it?
I think I know
they all came out
the
with
Cavs.
their hands up. Was it the Cavs?
And they had everybody wore a shirt during the pregame warm-ups. Yeah, that was the Cavs.
But yeah, so same thing. Like that happens almost on a week in, week out basis in the NBA. No one bats an eye. In the NFL, they're like, "Oh, how dare you! You are so disrespectful." Blah 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 blah.
NFL is an owners' league,
and that's what they say. It's got the plantation mentality.
It really does
for NFL owners, and it's like, man, I was like, I still haven't celebrated the moment, but I am extremely happy for Cap, and he's still doing his humanitarian thing. Like he's still donating money while he was not making any money. And before Nike came out and said we're still going to pay him in the whole 9 yards, he was still donating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 100,000 in the wintertime for
setting up breakfast
for
programs.
for bums who don't have coats. You know what I mean?
And that's what I mean. Like this is a good thing for Colin Kaepernick. I think it's a good thing for the movement that he's leading. Because we're all going to look back at this in 30 years and be like, "Wow, what he did, what he sacrificed." Because he does love football. Let's not mince words. He does love
took the
football.
49ers to a Super Bowl.
Right.
And
so he wasn't a scrub.
Well,
exactly.
right.
But and not to cut you up, but people talk about his last year in San Fran, they were like 2-13. Well, what were their record the year after he left? Won 2 games. So maybe it wasn't the quarterback. Maybe it was a product of the environment.
And what he's doing is transcending football.
Yeah.
The idiots that are talking about, well, if he loves the game, like, dude, this social cause is far more greater than any game.
Because this game will end, and there's still going to be the social cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the game is over, at 4 o'clock when the game's over, there's still shit going on in the world.
And then
you know
I like the way he's handling it. He's quiet about it. He's not in the news making a bunch of fuss. He's handling everything quietly, legally, and then he's still pursuing it.
Yeah, because he could be a smarmy in the news, you know what I mean, doing the Daily Show or every morning show in the world, like, hey, doing this, blah, blah, blah. But no, you haven't seen any of that. So it's like, that's a real man right there.
Let's talk baseball.
Yeah, let's talk baseball. The last thing I was going to say is that, like, everybody talks about, he said the cop thing. Like, stop. Like, that's over. The Sox and he likes Castro. Like, stop microanalyzing crap. That's enough.
You just have to find something to dislike about the man.
The salt, the throw shade. I know. It's ridiculous. But, so baseball. And this, by the way, let me, all right, listen. Ron, dear Ron, look, I get it, all right? You're trying to encourage Tiger fans that you have goals that are huge, and I get it. That's fine. But let me tell you something right now. Just because you're ranked 15th, your farm system's ranked 15th, which is being a little generous, in my opinion at least, and you look at your rotation, Matt Moore, who comes with the ERA of, I don't know, just south of 6, is part of your plan to get to the World Series. Stop. Pump the brakes and be realistic, okay? Look, stop. All right? This team is going to be third place by default only because Cleveland is going to probably win the division again. Minnesota has made some free agent signings. The White Sox, no, Stuart, sorry. Fourth place. Because the White Sox have a lot of young talent and they're putting stuff together. You're going to lose 90, probably 100 games. If you trade Nick Castellanos, you're going to lose 100. You're going to lose.
He's out of there. He doesn't want to be there.
I'm hoping Zimmerman. I hope they pitch him 5 innings because he sucks after the 6. And
by the way,
I hope he's just great for the first month and a half. The first phone call you get, even if they're sending you 2 peas in a pod for Zimmerman, you take it.
Yeah, batters are batting over 300 against him the third time in the order. Something like that. I forgot the exact average.
Everybody at home knows it. And I'm not I know baseball, but not like that. But I have clearly seen just by watching the tape that after the 6th inning he sucks. But they keep it. Let's just try one more time. Let's just see. Let's just see. Game after game after game.
Well, they have no other choice. They really don't. I mean, it is what it is. They have to put him out there because.
You think he's going to be day one starter?
No, they'll probably start either Boyd or Fulmer, and then Zimmerman. They'll push Zimmerman back. They might give him the opening day start at home. Possibly. Will they start at home this year or they start on the road?
They start in the cold, probably, like usual.
Well, then Zimmerman has from Wisconsin. They'll say that advantage, but
Fulmer lost his. Not to cut you off. Fulmer lost his arbitration hearing.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what I mean? So, bro, you ain't been healthy.
Yes.
Would you come in here with doctor's notes?
And the narrative they were talking about is like, oh well, he took he carpooled with the team. So, but so I don't know. I pump the brakes, guys. Chill. Let's just chill. I mean, unless Ben, do you have any World Series? Like, Daniel Norris going to be the next Steve Carlton over here, or?
I'm intrigued what Norris can do if he's finally healthy. I that's something that we haven't seen with him in Detroit is a full healthy season. So I'm excited about that. I don't like the Tigers. We all know this. They're far from.
They're a few years away.
They're a few years away from being a playoff contender.
Yeah.
I mean they're doing the right thing. They're getting bad contracts off the books. They're biding their time, and then yes, they'll start bringing in pieces that will work, right? But I mean, I'm still excited for baseball to come around. Mm-hmm. There's still things that are exciting with this team that are still worth watching on a day in and day out basis. And people are going to say, well, if the Tigers aren't playoff contenders, what's the point? Well, things like Daniel Norris, like can he be healthy? Can he be good? If Castellanos does move to first base, how does that work? Miggy's going to be healthy again. Does he return to form or not? Is he going to welcome a DH role, which he's begrudgingly starting to accept that he might just do that and nothing else? Like those storylines are just going to be interesting to see how they play out month to month to month, week to week, every 10 games to take a look at. So, yeah, it's foolish, that the Tigers are like, well, we're still the eyes are on the World Series. Well, I should hope so. Like
you'll be at home watching it, so
well, but like
eyes on the World Series.
but like in all seriousness, like even though you're rebuilding, you still hope the mantra in the locker room is, hey, we're here to compete. Like that's what you like to see, right? Like even as an athlete, as a competitor, that's what you're there to do. Whether you can actually do it or not is a different thing. But
I kind of wish they were like 1 year away instead of like 2 years away, because like don't you kind of wish that they would sign Bryce and Manny? Like if they were like 1 year away, like we've sucked for the past few years, because they've already said we're 2 years away from spending money. If they were 1 year away and didn't have Zimmerman on the books, bro, just bring them in.
If they do decide to move Castellano, I don't think I'm saying his name right.
Castellanos.
You're fitting the seat right. You're fitting the seat right.
What do you think they'll get for him realistically?
You know what I would love, in all seriousness, if Al Avila went to Bryce Harper's camp and said, hey, look, we need a right fielder. We will pay you a 1 year salary of $25 million just to be our right fielder. Like, no strings attached. It's guaranteed money. We're just curious. We're just curious to see what happens.
I'll give you 30, bro.
No, I think like the only thing
that would never happen.
What would they get for Nick Castellanos right now? Honestly, maybe a top 50 prospect, but highly doubt it. Probably a player that they need a player who is a player who's ready to go. Essentially, a player who's right on the cusp, and maybe a couple lottery scratch offs that may or may pan out. But they're not going to get much for him because he's limited on what he can do.
Yeah.
And especially if you train him if the National League had DH rule, he would have been gone already. But that's not going to happen for another few years. But
my thing, get what you can get from anybody.
Yeah, but they're not. That's the thing. Al Avila holds him in such high regard. Avila is holding out because he doesn't. The Gita Martinez is a prime trade is an example of they could have gotten a lot more from Arizona. But then it was like, well, he was gone after that season, and they got Alcantara. They got who is a light hitting shortstop for the Tigers love apparently, but I'm not being cynical. I'm not. I honestly am not. I've watched a lot of baseball. I want the Tigers to compete. I do. I want the Tigers to have that kind of competitive window they just recently had. But what the problem is I'm having is Al Avila every press conference just does not shut up sometimes, and it's just like, man, you're just digging a hole, man. You're digging it and making it worse for yourself. And it's just, we don't use a lot of analytics. That's not what you want to say right now. You don't want to say that. Just say,
stop.
We're working on it.
You're playing poker and you got the cards facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It is head scratching sometimes, but I kind of want them to be good. I mean, the city is much better when the Tigers are good.
And we're starving for any one of our 4 major teams to step
and
up.
Even
right now.
and I would say the Tigers more than any franchise here. People love hockey. Red Wings are good. You know what I mean? The Pistons, whatever.
The Lions.
The Lions are good. You got the fans, but the city and everything
People
is
really
much
come out
for
when
the
the
Tigers games,
yeah,
and when the Tigers are good. You know what I mean? So it's. I think the Tigers.
I think a lot of that has to do with the time of the year too.
Yeah, I think the Tigers being good helps the city more than any other franchise that we have here, 100%. Quick question. So this whole one pitcher in type of idea. So the San Francisco Giants brought it up, and Madison Bumgarner said he more than likely would be the opening day starter, but he said that he will leave the building if they put in a 1-inning pitcher,
an opener
for the opener.
Yeah,
like he's not for it whatsoever.
If they use an opener on a day that he's supposed to play, he won't play.
Because teams are starting to do what team did it a lot last
Tampa
year?
Bay started.
You know what I mean? It's like you're just each inning you got this guy made for these people, whatnot. Instead of having your one dude get you as far as he can get and you take it from there. How do you feel about him saying, "F the team, I'm out the ballpark"?
I think he's just trying to set a precedent, because the game is getting too analytical, especially with the pitcher, their mentality. Especially if you're a starter, I'm going 15 innings if need be, like the old school days. Like, don't pull me out if my arm's not falling off. And then now we're getting to a point where the game has become so mechanical with substitution, moving, the shifts you were talking about last week. It's a hard game to watch, and it's hard to stay in any type of healthy rhythm as a competitor and as a pitcher. If okay, there's 1 out, 2 on, and then 4th inning, they've got a situation that we talked about last week. They're going to come pull me.
Yeah, so I can't find the stat, but don't get me my numbers. They're basically close. But from 5 years ago, 71% of the actual wins came from the starting pitcher. Now it's dropped 10% since then, which is it's at the lowest and it's ever been from that standpoint, which is showing that teams don't really care about the starter anymore. So you're getting less wins for that starter. So I feel like it's kind of hurting pitchers long run and the wins, and maybe there'll probably be less people in the Hall of Fame because now pitchers aren't getting as many starts and innings as they used to, rather than now all your wins are coming from relievers. Now, when I saw the report, I seen it on Twitter, and I responded with the gif of Denzel Washington saying, "My man." You know what I mean? Like, I 100% agree. Like, if you're gonna do this, I'm your guy. I've never let you down. I still have it. If you want to do this for game 2. Like, pitchers take pride in that opening day because the team knows I'm the man. They love me. But when you start some bum, gonna have him for an inning, it's kind of like you just spitting on my name and what I got going.
No, and I understand why Tampa Bay was doing it because they had no other choice, and that they were trying to be conventional. It worked, but that's just what happens. A team starts a trend, and everybody just kind of copycats it and goes from there. That's just exactly what it is. And for the Tigers right now, I mean, what I am excited for the Tigers is to see what they have in their system. Because they're already promised that Perez and Manning and Fado and Funkhauser and Casey Mize are going to be the next big thing. But you guys remember, every time this has happened in the past, not all 5 of them are going to be instant starters or instant hits. I mean, look at the Mets, for example. The Mets had 4 guys in the 90s, Pulsifer, Isringhauer, and I forgot the other people, or there's the other 2 guys in rotation. Never panned out. The Mets, even recently, DeGrom, Syndergaard, you had the left-hander, forgot the guy's name, but then a couple guys, and only so far DeGrom has come down. I mean, Syndergaard was a little banged up last year, but DeGrom is the best out of that. It's not going to be a for sure conclusion or foregone conclusion. I mean, even this Casey or Cody Clemens hype, too, is just got to pump the brakes, evaluate what they have, because this draft that Avila did for 2018 is imperative because they got some athletes that went a little differently than what they normally do, and that's what I'm interested in, is to see what the progress is in West Michigan. If West Michigan gets off to a bad start in terms of an offensive standpoint, where you don't see a lot of hitting, and you don't see a lot of good pitching, that's worrisome. We'll see what happens in Lakeland. If Lakeland's progressing well, and you see some talent that is going to jump up to Erie that quick, that will be a good sign. The Mud Hens are going to be a crapshoot because Toledo AAA is traditionally just has-beens and a couple of guys that are there for roster positioning. That's it. AA is where you're going to want to look at. And if the Seawolves get off to a good start and you see Matt Manning have a higher strikeout rate than the innings pitched, and you see some progress there, Paredes continuing to smash. I mean, I think Isaac Paredes, I don't know if you guys saw what Toronto did with Vladimir Guerrero. They're going to hold him down another year in AAA for service reasons. And it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Isn't he like the number 1 prospect?
Yeah, he's the number 1 prospect, and he's not even. What?
He can rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I saw him play when West Michigan a couple years ago. The way the ball cracks off his bat was like it was like gunshots. Like, it was loud, and you're gonna hold him back to be that cheap? What the hell? I mean, Blue Jay fans are pissed.
I mean,
and they have a right to be.
They do the same thing with Chris Bryant. I mean, it's
Come on, man.
You're thinking with your heart instead of your head. You know what I mean? Now, if you're in that GM position, well, the fans want to see him. He's a good guy. Let's bring him up. Or if we hold him another year, we can keep him longer. It doesn't. I understand it hurts your heart and everybody wants to see him, but it doesn't make sense for your franchise long term. So I don't agree with it. I feel like there's got to be some type of alternative where, hey, if we bring you up now, I know you want to come up. How about, you give us an extra year just because? Or you figure something out, because you're hurting that player and you're hurting the league, because now you're keeping people down and down there for longer when they should be up here just killing it. So that's something the Players Association's got to figure out to stop from happening. And I guarantee you in the next agreement, they will try to figure something out, because teams can't keep doing that just because you keep a guy for longer. It will help the game if these top prospects were playing in the majors instead of the minors just because you want to keep them for an extra 2 years. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. Jamie, any last thoughts before we get out of here for the day?
Well, that's just it. Like, you're hurting the league. You're wanting to get more people to watch, and you have this star who is somebody people want to watch play, and then you're going to leave him in the minor leagues just so you can hold on to him for another year. That is the opposite of getting more fans in the seats. The opposite.
Yeah, I don't understand that, and it's sad. Do you have any last thoughts before we go out here, Rayvon?
I don't agree with the move. I mean, I would play him if I were the Blue Jays, but maybe they're thinking long term. So we'll see how it pans out.
I would like to say bless you to that lady who doesn't like to be blessed.
You sure you want to do that?
I think we all bless her.
That's my last word, is bless you.
Yeah. Keep the salts off yourself, lady, and chill. So, all right, Rayvon, close us out because I'm not hosting this week. So,
thank you guys. It's been another great edition of Sports Radio Detroit's Roadshow.
Great job today.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Pro, Ben, Roger. It's been real. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Watch the All-Star festivities.
Leave us a review.
Well done, by the way.
We can't know if we suck unless you tell us, and we don't know if we're good, and other people don't know if we're good unless you leave us a review. I mean, we will respond and we will get better.
Yeah, we always want to get better. We always want to get feedback. We appreciate that, and we always want to make sure that we're rising to the occasion. So, Yeah, we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. As always, Jamie, thank you from the Mid-Michigan studios. Storm and Rain are hopefully relaxing. There weren't two wrestlers, were they?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so from our Mid-Michigan studios, we'll see you.
LeBron James.